Okay, next fight. Jack the Joker Hermansson going up against Kelvin Gastelum. Very intriguing matchup. The line, I think, just changed from Gastelum was a slight favorite at like minus 130, something like that. And now I think it's like a minus 112 pick 'em. So at least it is on DraftKings. So interested to see what you guys have to say about this one, Matt.
Dude, this is one of the hardest fights I've had to cap in a long time, man. I mean, there's just so much to say about it, and I'm going Gastelum. I think I'm going to go heavy on Gastelum. He's just been in there with so many better guys recently. Like he beat. I mean, Hermansson beat Jacare. Like on it, it sounds terrible, but at this point, big fucking whoop, dude. Like he's gassed. He's done. And for like, I know there's going to be casuals out there that are going to be pointing out like, oh, Hermansson's so much taller. He's long. Gaston's dealt with it his whole fucking career. He went 5 rounds with Izzy. He knows how to get inside. He's lightning fast on his feet still, and he hits like a fucking Mack truck. And he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Like, I trust him everywhere in this fight that Hermansson could potentially want to take it. And, Kelvin's Gaston it's held up very well in recent bouts too. So if he wants to take this fight into deep waters with Hermansson, somewhere, if you correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't seen Hermansson go that deep into a fight at all, right? Like the David Branch fight ended very early. Cannonier didn't go all.
Jacare went 5-5s.
Okay, yeah, and he won that, but still, like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm on Gastelum in this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won by knockout. It sounds so crazy because he is so much smaller, but I just trust his ability to get inside on Hermansson and get this fight to where he wants it, because that Gastelum is the one that's going to push the pace. It's just what he does, and that's why he knows how to get inside. He knows, all right, I'm the shorter guy. I got to be dictating this fight. If I want this fight on the ground, I'm taking it there. If I want to box, it's because of me. Like, he knows that. And as long as he can implement that style early and often, I think he'll be fine. I got on the Jack Hermansson train just as quickly as I got off of it. Right now, I'm off of it. Chris?
I hear you, man. I think a lot of people are doubting Kelvin in this fight. I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, like, how the hell is Gastelum a favorite? And maybe they're right. There's something to it, clearly, because the line, Mike just said, moved from 130 to a pick 'em. But I do believe that Hermansson, when this fight was first announced, I remember seeing the OddsShark tweet, and Hermansson was a favorite, about 120. So there's been a lot of movement on the line back and forth. I think I see this fight as a fucking pick 'em. I think that if it goes to ground, Kelvin could be in some serious trouble, but he's been there. He's been there plenty of times. He's fought a fucking who's who. The one sad thing I will say about Kelvin, like to what Matt said, is yes, he's going to be the shorter, stockier guy in there, which he's been his whole career. Kelvin Gastelum, get a fucking nutritionist. Like Mike, he was working with Mike Dolce and he was doing so good. Dude, you can literally, people were talking about him being the champ at 170. He looked so good. He went to 185, beat Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy's basically a fucking light heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like, he's good. His boxing is really good. I know Hermansson's coming off a loss. By the way, side note, what the hell's going on with Cannonier? Has anyone heard? He got surgery, right?
I don't know. That was a brutal loss, though.
That was a brutal loss. But that being said, man, I honestly could say with, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. With transparency, I'm picking Kelvin more as a fan. I don't know if that's me picking him, but I really believe in Kelvin. I think Kelvin was really good. His fight with Izzy was insane. His boxing is so good. He's got good wrestling enough to, I think, hold off Hermansson and box him up on the feet. So I'm going Gastelum on this one.
So I think, first of all, about Hermansson, I think all the matchups that he's been in, that he's won, were perfect matches for him. Like when you think of like David Branch, perfect matchup for him. When you think of Souza, okay, Souza's doesn't have the best stand-up, great jiu-jitsu. Hermansson's a little bit better on the feet, so he won a decision. It was like the perfect timeline for him. But then when he went against Cannonier, and I got to toot my own horn here because I was on Cannonier at a plus 225 in that fight.
We argued that to the death, dude. I remember that. We argued that to the death.
To the death. But my whole thing was like, all right, I don't think Hermansson can get it to the ground because Cannonier is strong as an ox at 185, man. He's just strong as fuck, and he hits hard as fuck, and that's exactly what happened in this particular fight. I do think that Hermansson stands a significant chance to bring this to the ground. He's got to close the distance and maybe put him up against the cage, go for a takedown. We've seen Kelvin Gastelum get submitted before by Chris Weidman. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Weidman's a freak on the ground, but nonetheless, he is susceptible to that. I do think the line is completely appropriate. It is a pick 'em for a reason. I do think Hermansson stands a really good chance of winning this fight via submission. But if it stays on the feet, Gastelum's stand-up is like so good. Like if you haven't watched that Izzy fight, then you're not watching this podcast if you haven't watched that fight. So I don't know. It's so freaking hard. I really do think like the odds makers are on point with this right now. I off the top of my head, I don't even know if I can make a pick. I really can't because if I say Gastelum, I'm gonna hate myself for not saying Hermansson. And if I say Hermansson, I'm gonna hate myself for not saying Gastelum, man. So I don't know. You guys, Matt, you're on Gastelum, and Chris, you're on Gastelum as well, right?
I picked as a fan. If I more so, I can't get my heart out of it, if that makes sense. So it is. I am being swayed by the fan in me, yeah.
Right,
but I did pick Gastelum.
Just to go against you guys, I'm going to go with Hermansson right now, and then we'll see what happens come Saturday.
I think I'm just taking because I'm a fan, and I've seen Kelvin fight so many times. I mean, I've seen Hermansson fight so many times too, but I think as a fan, I think that Kelvin can at least get back to his feet. If he's going to get, I think it's inevitable that he does get taken down, but I think that he's got a good enough takedown defense, and his striking is significantly better.
And also remember, as you guys saw at the Rivera fight this weekend, being a shorter guy with a lower center of gravity really helps defending takedowns, so that could be to his advantage too. And another thing I looked at in this fight is you look at his 4 most recent wins: Jacare, David Branch, Mir Sharp, Dallas Lattis. None of those guys are strikers first. None of them. They're all, none. Then you look at his 2 recent losses. Granted, one of them's not so recent, Cannonier and Santos. To me, I think Cannonier and Santos fall more in the category of guys that just absolutely fucking crack with their strikes, which makes me think of Kelvin. He hasn't really fared well against guys like that. Well, he got knocked out by both of them. So, again, that is like MMA math to the extreme and honestly more theoretical than anything. But to me, maybe that's his kryptonite. Maybe he's not that great against guys that have a massive stand-up advantage. And I do think Kelvin, even though he's shorter, I think he's better boxing, and it's without question he hits harder. So, maybe he doesn't take damage well. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, just trying to convince myself, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so close. I do like Gastelum's hashtag. He's still on a mission for gold. So I do think he still has that drive in him because
he's got a mission to make weight.
Yeah, you said it, Chris, yourself, man. He is. I really do think he's championship caliber. If he puts if he's on point on any given night, he can beat any fighter on the roster. I really do think that. But he's just had a lot of setbacks. But I really do think those setbacks only make him better. So I don't know. Maybe I'm leaning Gastelum now. But as of right now, I'm going to stay with Hermansson. Wait till Saturday when the picks are posted. I might just keep them both out though. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, sorry, Mike. I'm significantly more excited for this in the main event. Significantly.
Word. Absolutely.